sort of one-off video deep dive exploration type video that we've been doing, where we've previously done like haunted places and insane abandoned places, moving away from the locations. Today, as you can tell by the title, we're looking at some of the weirdest, most unique phobias that you probably didn't know existed, or at least had like a proper name. So I found this article, I believe there's about 21, so we're going to slowly whisper through them. As always, I feel like I always just have to say this in my introductions. Any requests for videos, even if it's like a weird topic, I can't promise I'll do all of them, but on the All Sorts ASMR spreadsheet, it is populated with a lot of your guys' ideas that I will eventually get round to, the majority of them. But even if you give a really weird, unique niche idea for a video, it might, get the cogs moving and give me ideas for other things. But yeah, just leave your suggestions, basically. But enough aimless, mindless rambling. Let's explore some weird phobias. Okay, so I've just seen the name of number one, and I'm gonna apologise once, and then I won't apologise for the rest of the video. I apologise for my pronunciation, but these are some big words. I'm somewhat intelligent, but these are very big words, okay? Let's give it a go. Arachidopterophobia. Arachidopterophobia is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Now, I wouldn't say I've got a fear of this, but like, I get it. I don't really eat peanut butter anymore because it was like eating glue. It is literally like eating glue. I love the taste of it. Okay, so arachidopterophobia. Arachidopterophobia. That's it. Arachidopterophobia. It's the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. While the phenomenon has happened to everyone at one point or another, people with this phobia are extremely afraid of it. The severity of arachidopterophobia varies from person to person. Some with this condition may be able to eat small amounts of peanut butter, but others will completely avoid it, or anything with a similar consistency. Arachidopterophobia is a rare phobia that can stem from a greater phobia of sticky things or fear of choking. It may also stem from a traumatic incident with peanut butter, as most phobias would, such as choking on it or being allergic to it. I'd say if you're allergic to peanut butter, you probably shouldn't have. I was going to say something really stupid then. You shouldn't really be putting peanut butter in your mouth, but I guess you don't know you're allergic to it until you've put it in your mouth. So you would find out simultaneously that you're allergic to peanut butter and you have arachidopterophobia. Okay, number 2 is one I can definitely pronounce. Nomophobia. Nomophobia is a fear of being without your mobile phone. I know a lot of people in this world have this. Everyone just, for me, I don't have this, and it's not like a fear of not having my phone, but it's almost like a comfort thing, like just something to like hold in my hand. But yeah, this is the fear of being without your mobile phone. People with nomophobia experience excessive anxiety about not having their phone with them, their battery being low or their phone being out of service. Regardless of the circumstances, not being able to use their phone causes people with nomophobia to become panicked and experience extreme symptoms of anxiety. This rare phobia often stems from a person having a cell phone addiction. People with this phobia may obsess excessively check their phones throughout the day and worry they will miss out on contact with loved ones. While nomophobia is generally classified as a rare phobia, cell phone addiction appears to be fairly common. Recent research has shown that around half of both men and women have anxiety surrounding their mobile phones. Furthermore, one study found that 23% of male students were labelled as nomophobic, and almost 77% checked their cell phones more than 35 times a day. Yeah, I think that's pretty common now though, in terms of my cell phone habits. Like, in terms of contacting people, I don't really, well, I do use it to contact people obviously, but like, I've got a very like small group of friends, so literally on a normal day, if my fiance, I hate using that word, if my girlfriend doesn't message me, I might not get many messages, but like when the footy's on, that's when the boys group chat will go off or whatever. So like whenever I'm on my phone, I'm literally either on TikTok or Creator Studio. Like, I literally alternate between those two, occasionally check emails, maybe a bit of Pokemon Go, getting back into that a little bit. But it's never like a compulsive need, it's more just like boredom, just flicking between those things, really. My dad, on the other hand, I know you're here for the interesting phobias, but I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to ramble when I do the fact videos. Can't really have a conversation. My dad is the whole other way. He'll go on like 4-hour car journeys, or like just like out to go watch the rugby and just won't take his phone. And like we sort of say like, what if something horrific happened and we needed you, or something happened to you, and he was like, oh well, nothing has, kind of thing. It is mental. And like one time there was something important I needed to ask him like urgently, and I rang him and then I just hear it vibrating upstairs, and it's like, what is the point in even having it? But anyway, I digress. Let's move on to number three is arithmophobia. Arithmophobia, and you can maybe guess what this is a fear of. It is a fear of numbers. A fear of numbers. Arithmophobia. Phobia. Many people grew up dreading math class, but people with arithmophobia have a genuine fear of numbers. People with this fear usually experience anxiety associated with doing math or dealing with numbers in general, versus fear of actually seeing the number symbols. The fear of numbers is also sometimes referred to as numerophobia. Arithmophobia can significantly impair a person's life, as it is difficult to do many tasks or occupations without dealing with numbers. Yeah, that's horrendous. That would be a horrible phobia to have, because you can even, like paying your bills and stuff, or setting up like a direct debit, all to do with numbers and using numbers and calculations. It would impair you massively. Plutophobia is a fear of money. Plutophobia. Many people wish they had more money, but plutophobia is a fear of money or wealth. People with this phobia may fear wealthy people, scary, or fear becoming wealthy themselves. They generally dread money and having to deal with it. I actually low-key kind of get this one. I mean, I'm not scared of money, and any way I can to make more money, I'm all for it. But I kind of get that because all the sort of tribulations and how driven some people become by money, and it does dictate the world. Would it be simple if society crashed and the money crashed and we all just fended for ourselves? No, that would be horrible, but I kind of get that phobia in a weird way. Next up we got xanthophobia. Xanthophobia xanthophobia. I might put like trigger words, close-up trigger words in the title of this video, because these phobias have some great trigger words. Anyway, xanthophobia is a fear of the colour yellow. People with this rare phobia are usually also afraid of any object that is yellow, such as school buses and flowers. People with xanthophobia may avoid the colour yellow at all costs, and they may even find yellow foods to be distressing. This phobia tends to interfere with everyday life, as yellow things can be found everywhere. Or imagine if you found yellow food distressing. Fries. No fries. What else? Vanilla ice cream is sort of yellow, but might get away with that a little bit. I'm trying to think of yellow foods. I now can't. I guess like scrambled egg. Well, it's still technically orange, but it goes a bit yellowy if you put butter in it. Or cheese. Cheese. Oh, imagine being scared of cheese and fries. Cheesy chips would be like a nightmare. Yeah, that's not a nice one. I mean, ultimately none of these are nice to have. But next up, we've got, I feel like I've known a few people with this fear. Ablutophobia is the fear of bathing. A lot of smelly people I've come across in my time definitely have this. Ablutophobia is a fear of bathing, washing or cleaning oneself. Phobia most often occurs in children and resolves with age, but it can still be present in adults. People with ablutophobia avoid bathing and showering, which can lead to unpleasant body odour and sometimes social isolation. However, their fear of bathing and the anxiety they experience while bathing tends to be so extreme that these consequences pale in comparison. It may result from a traumatic event involving water or a fear of getting wet. In some cases, the phobia is related to aquaphobia, which is the fear of water. Yeah, I know I made the joke about knowing people with this, but obviously I don't. Well, I might do, but I think they just had bad hygiene. But imagine how horrific it must be to have that phobia, because you're self-aware, right? Like, you're fully aware that you probably smell, and like, although you might not smell because you're not washing yourself with water and showers and baths and stuff, you can use like wet wipes and other ways of cleaning yourself. Like, I wonder if like a wet flannel would be, you'd get away with that maybe. But that's just really sad, because you'd be self-aware that you're not like really hygienic, but you can't do anything about it realistically. Okay, this is a bit of a ridiculous one. Octophobia is the fear of the number 8. That is mad. Why? So it can obviously stem from arithmophobia. What there are a few other known phobias to specific numbers, but this one, octophobia, and the number 13, which is triskaidekaphobia. People with octophobia fear the symbol 8 as it appears written down, such as in addresses or advertisements. They also can fear objects presenting in groups of 8. Goodness me. Okay, so we go from octophobia to optophobia, which is the fear of opening your eyes. Oh, that is horrendous. Optophobia is a fear of opening one's eyes. This fear can be extremely debilitating, as it's hard for an individual to carry out daily activities without opening their eyes. People with optophobia may prefer to stay indoors or in dimly lit areas. This phobia is usually associated with a generalized anxiety disorder. Like many other rare phobias, this fear is usually the result of a traumatic incident. Yeah, that's just sad. Imagine just having that fear. And like, some fears are irrational, right? So like they just all come out of nowhere. Imagine having that one. That is grim. Okay, next we got globophobia, which is a fear of balloons. Globophobia is a fear of balloons. The level of fear varies from person to person and can range from avoiding being near balloons to avoiding places with balloons altogether. In some people, the fear is so great that even seeing a balloon on television triggers intense anxiety. This rare fear can be especially hard for young children, as balloons are often present at children's birthday parties. Yeah, I feel like though, compared to a lot of the other ones on this list, balloons are probably more easy to avoid and not as commonplace, right? Just be wary when you go to a party or don't go any birthday shops, essentially. Oh gosh. Okay. This is going to take some dissecting, this name. Number 10. Let's get ready. We have hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, smashed it, is ironically a fear of long words. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia. And I'm not saying it again. Ironically, it is also the longest word in the dictionary. Wow. Okay, number 11 is ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia is the fear of adolescents. Ephebiphobia. People with ephebiphobia may perceive teenagers as out of control or dangerous and believe they are rude, unpredictable, and do not follow rules. This fear is thought to develop from the negative portrayal of teenagers in the media. People with ephebiphobia are afraid of teenagers and will not want to be around them. People with this fear may avoid going to a friend's house if they have teenagers, or avoid places where teenagers tend to hang out. Number 12 is omphalophobia. Omphalophobia is the fear of belly buttons. The fear of belly buttons. People with this phobia will avoid seeing or touching belly buttons, even their own. They might even put a bandage over their belly button to avoid looking at it. They will sometimes avoid places where belly buttons might be exposed, like the beach. Honestly, not a phobia, but I kinda get it. Belly buttons are weird, aren't they? When you actually look at them and stare at them. Not that I'm staring at people's belly buttons, but my own. As my favourite pastime is staring in a mirror at my own belly button. But they are weird, aren't they? They are weird. Belly buttons are weird. Okay. Linonophobia. It's either linonophobia or linonophobia. I think it's probably linonophobia. Linonophobia is the fear of string. A person with this phobia will have an extreme reaction even when just thinking about string, let alone seeing it in person. People with linonophobia will avoid string or anything having to do with string, such as sewing or tying shoes. Yeah, that's instantly where my mind went. I wonder if they just wear Velcro shoes for life. Which, isn't the worst thing in the world. I actually think Velcro shoes are very convenient, and I think there should be more of a market, and it should be less of a, I was going to say taboo, it's not taboo, more commonplace and more accepted for adults to wear Velcro. I think there's a market there for like stylish Velcro shoes, and I'm sure people with linonophobia will agree with me. Okay. use that word on this channel. Goodness gracious me. Right, let's hope none of you have this fear, but this is pogonophobia. Pogonophobia, pogonophobia, pogonophobia. Pogonophobia is the fear of beards. The fear of beards. So I hope you haven't got it, because you know, I've evidently got a massive, thick, manly beard. This usually stems from an alarming incident with a bearded person. It could also arise from a person not liking that a beard hides someone's face. You don't need to worry about that. My face is truly on show with my borderline pathetic attempt at a beard. People with pogonophobia will avoid those with beards and may even have anxiety when looking at a picture of a bearded person. Usually will not be friends with someone who has a beard and will feel extremely nervous when talking to somebody who does. Now linking to that one, we now have jadephobia. Jadephobia, 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 which is the fear of hair. This phobia can be a fear of one's own hair, other people's hair, or even animal hair. People with jadephobia might be afraid of a hairball on the ground or afraid of combing their own hair. They often find it extremely difficult to get haircuts and will generally avoid situations where other people touch their hair. Phobia is likely to have arisen from a traumatic experience. Some examples are a bad haircut or losing large amounts of hair by going bald. It could also be caused by someone believing that hair is dirty and not wanting to come into contact with it. Related phobias are trichophobia and trichopathophobia. Trichophobia is the fear of loose hair, such as hair that has fallen out onto their clothes or furniture. Trichopathophobia is the fear of hair disease, which can include baldness or a change in hair colour. I totally get that one, because again, hair is quite weird. It just sort of grows out the top of our heads, doesn't it? Well, and elsewhere, obviously, which right now would be a perfect segue into a Manscaped brand deal, wouldn't it? But I don't have one. But I get that hair one, because again, kind of weird when you think about it. And yeah, trichopathophobia, fear of hair disease, baldness, change in hair colour. Yeah, I obviously haven't got this phobia, but I reckon about a few months ago I had like, not like a crisis, but a brief panic, and this panic lasted like a day, where I've basically, like, you can't see, but on this side and this side I'm starting to get grey hairs. I'm 25, so I was like, I'm 25, I'm going grey, my life's over. But then literally after like a couple of days I was like, it's a few grey hairs, and I'd rather go grey than go bald. And I don't think I am going to go bald, because the men in my mum's side of the family and my dad's actually all kept their hair, so I think I'm sound. I think realistically I've got a fringe, not because I'm receding, but it looks a little bit recedy because I've got a gigantic, humongous forehead, like literally Jovino-esque forehead hiding under this fringe, which you will probably never see, unless, you know, I one day do go bald when I'm 40. Imagine me still doing this channel when I'm 40. Well, I hope to be. Okay, anyway, rambling aimlessly again, I do apologise. Moving on to vestophobia. This is the fear of clothing. For many people, this manifests as a fear of a specific garment. For others, it might come from a fear of tight-fitting clothing that causes one to feel constrained. In other cases, it's a fear of all clothing. Gosh, that would be horrible. Fear of just wearing anything. Rare phobia can arise from an allergy to a specific type of fabric or a traumatic event associated with a certain piece of clothing. For example, there have been cases where former soldiers develop a fear of military clothing. Yeah, I understand that, because that's obviously linked to PTSD. I'd get that completely. Yeah, again, I don't think on the face of it this fear of clothing sounds kind of weird, but actually when you break it down, if somebody has like a traumatic Next we have ergophobia. And by the way, this should go without saying, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone who may have these at all. I just feel like I should say that. I just make jokes, but obviously these are serious things and serious phobias that people obviously deal with. I probably didn't need to say that, but I always feel like I should just say, like, I come in peace or whatever. Number 17. Okay. A few people are probably going to admit to having this. Ergophobia. Ergophobia is a fear of work. People with ergophobia tend to have extreme anxieties associated with their place of work or work environment. Some may have a fear of manual labour or the act of working itself, while others can have a fear of finding a job. All these cases would be classified as ergophobia. The fear of work can lead to anxiety attacks and impair a person's ability to function professionally. It can have a huge impact on a person's life, as most people need to maintain a job to survive. Ergophobia may stem from occupational burnout, where a person becomes so stressed and exhausted by their job that they feel they can no longer complete it. It can also be associated with negative work experiences like an abusive employer or poor work-life balance. Again, I completely get this phobia, and also I guarantee more people had this after COVID, because obviously everyone working remotely and various things, so going back into an office environment for a lot of people would probably be quite triggering, I'd imagine. I mean, I'm still part remote. My job is literally remote for like a week. I only have to go into the office like once a week down in London. But yeah, like after COVID and lockdown and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if ergophobia was way more common. Okay, decidophobia. Any guesses what this is a fear of? Yes, it's a fear of making decisions. Decidophobia. Well, my throat just made a lovely noise for you all. You're welcome. Making any kind of decision can seem impossible for someone with decidophobia, as they do not trust their own opinions. Yeah, this one's just sad. That's horrible. I mean, they're all horrible, don't get me wrong, but this would be really bad. A person with decidophobia may excessively rely on others to help them with decision making. They may even turn to external sources such as astrology for advice. Decidophobia could be part of a larger mental health disorder called dependent personality disorder. One of the symptoms of dependent personality disorder is relying on others to make decisions. Yeah, I bet decidophobia and ergophobia could go hand in hand. If you can't make decisions, it's difficult to be independent and probably difficult to work, so it'd probably generate a fear of work and it'll just be an endless loop. Come on, I want some more light-hearted ones, because these last couple have just been kind of like a bit sad. Right, this one, let's try and pronounce this one. Isoptrophobia. Isoptrophobia is a fear of mirrors. Phobia is also sometimes referred to as spectrophobia or cataptrophobia. People with this fear are unable to look at themselves in any mirror. This fear may also extend to any reflective surface. This fear may stem from superstitions about mirrors. For instance, a person may be afraid of breaking a mirror because they believe it will cause them bad luck. Others may fear that they will see something supernatural in a mirror, such as a ghost. I mean, me personally, I just don't like looking in mirrors because I'm ugly. Isoptrophobia can develop from low self-esteem, as a person may feel ashamed of their physical appearance and not want to see it in a mirror. It can lead to depression in some cases, which may require professional treatment in the form of counselling and medication. I think I watched a film the other day where she was a fear of looking in mirrors. I think it's The Visit. I think me and my brother rewatched The Visit, which is a god-awful is an amazing character arc. She is looking at herself. But yeah, that would be really hard to function, not really being able to know properly what you look like. I wonder, I guess, unless it was like about your appearance, you could get around it if it was like the mirror superstition thing, just by using the camera on your phone, right? But if it's about appearance, obviously that's probably not going to help. Okay, here we've got dipnophobia, or dapnophobia, maybe dape. Dapnophobia is a fear of dining with other people. This often manifests as a fear of dinner parties and may stem from a fear of dinner conversations, or having to carry out a conversation while eating. May be related to an underlying social phobia. In many cases, dapnophobia is triggered by traumatic events from an individual's past, such as being ridiculed as a child for the way they ate or for not following proper etiquette at the dinner table. The fear of dining with others can also be related to a fear of being criticised for the way a person eats. A person with dapnophobia may feel awkward eating in front of others and therefore avoid it. People with this phobia tend to eat alone or prefer to eat in silence if they do eat with others. Yeah, I could see this being a pretty common one. If you just got like pretty bad anxiety anyway, dinner conversations, especially with like strangers or people you don't know very well, very easy to snowball in your own mind and build it up into a bigger thing than it actually is. And I could understand doing that you would almost develop this phobia, because I think a small level of social anxiety is pretty normal, but I think sometimes people are susceptible to like building it up in their own heads, and I'm definitely guilty of that, overthinking things and starting to panic about things that when you're able to take a step back, you're like, it's not a big deal, it's fine. But yeah, not an ideal one. And here we go, we're ending on a good one. Phobophobia. Do you know what this is a phobia of? Yes, phobophobia is a fear of phobias, a fear of phobias. This can be described as a free-floating anxiety where a person spirals into a circle of anxiety due to fearing fear itself. In that respect, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, I thought this was going to be like a bit of a light-hearted, funny one, but spiraling into a circle of anxiety. Goodness me, that is some like graphic description. Commonly co-diagnosed with other types of specific phobias and is often associated with anxiety disorders. People with phobophobia will often avoid social situations or other situations that can lead to anxiety. Yeah, that is absolutely mental, like being scared of being scared. Like, how would you even function? Like being scared of being scared of being scared of being scared of being scared, essentially. Kind of blows my mind to think about. But yeah, some of them are crazy. My favourite was the peanut butter one. I've forgotten the name of it now, but the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. But yeah, that was 21 of the strangest, rarest phobias on the planet. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I actually really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I love filming the history and the fact videos because I feel like there's an exchange there. I enjoy filming and I enjoy learning new things, and you guys like hearing those things. But with these kinds of videos, I feel like we're having more of a chat. Like, yes, it is just a camera in theory, but I'm able to actually give my opinions and ramble a bit and, you know, make light-hearted jokes here and there, and I don't know, I think these kind of videos are good for the channel because you get a bit of a sense of what I'm like as a person rather than just like this guy that sits and reads 100 facts for you all, which always happy to do and always will be happy to do because again, I love doing them, you love hearing them, but sometimes nice to just like switch it up a little bit. We're actually pretty fast approaching 20k subscribers. We're probably going to hit that within like a month, which is just an absolute joke. So I need to think of something to do for that, I assume, because that's what most people do, right? Do like a 20k special Q&A. I've never done like an assumptions video, so maybe we'll do that. But if you've got any ideas for a 20k special, then let me know. But yeah, I'm off rambling again, but that is going to do it for tonight's video. If you did enjoy this video,